Hi again, welcome back. Just been messing around with this floor pan a bit this evening. Give you a look at what I'm doing with it there now. So it looks like a little bit of a patchwork quilt at the moment, but just show you what I've done with it. So I just hammered out this piece, just tacked it in there earlier. I don't have anything to do this profile, which gives the floor a lot of rigidity, even though this is pretty much sitting on that chassis leg anyway. So what I've decided to do was to use the edge setter and step all the sides, which will give it a bit of rigidity. And I've stepped it, so I stepped this up onto here and under this. I'll form that down to meet it before I weld it up. Up over this side again, and then this back piece I've just done the two corners, and it comes up here a little bit, but it's got that bit of a bend in it as well to add a bit of strength in there. So once that's all welded in, that'll firm it up quite a lot. So that's that, and I was just having the step kind of just held in place just to mock it up. I've got to extend all these edges down here after, you see, but this little corner here is on the arch as well, so I either have to cut that off of the arch or cut it off of the step before I can put the arch on and mock that up. So I'll finish the floor, I'll get that wedged in place or welded in place properly first, and then I'll look at the step and the wheel arch. I'm using one of these to do the punching and stuff. It does what they call edge setting. This has been around for years. Somebody bought it to do another van I had before, but I've never actually really used it much, but it did come in quite handy in there doing the floor, and the punch side of it's quite handy as well. So yeah, I think just campers and stuff sell them. Everybody seems to buy them, but again, I don't know how useful it is really. So I've got that all kind of fixed in place now. I just welded loads of little tabs. Just tack them on, go around, welded that end over there and another little tack up the front. I'm just trying to get the door to close nicely without putting too much pressure on everything, and trying to get this edge here nice and flush. It actually seems to... hard to show that. It seems to still push down on it a little, but it's like the rubber is just pushing it all down a little. This still has flex even with all that tacked in. So yeah, just got to do all the little infills now all the way along there and around the step as well. Right, put a good few hours into that this evening. Pretty fed up with it again for today. So the floor, been adding away tacks to that all the time. Step is pretty much all in. Actually quite a bit of work in that with all the add-in pieces, etc. But it's nice and solid again, and just done one little patch here, but I need to that'll be the next job, getting that all sorted out. Be a step in the right direction anyway. That's all completely welded up now, so gonna go get it all ground down and then start inside the battery box. So I only wish it was that quick. So that's all ground down now, all the way around, all around the step, and all the floor all tacked in. I also got around in here cleaned up, ground down, a couple of little, built up a few areas there with some weld. Got to do the bottom of the battery box. Starting to think maybe that fuel tank should come out. Yeah, I did have, this was all closing nicely when I had the arch on, but as I tacked the arch, all this became a lot more rigid and actually lifted, so the door was actually just catching on the bottom corner of the step, but by using myself as a prop between the wheel arch and the pillar, we managed to put that right. Now we have a nice closing door again. That gap there is bigger than I would like. Like, this looks okay in line with this. They're big gaps either way, but this one here especially seems big, but that seems to be more to do with the panel than anything else, because based on this line, that, well, when you actually look at it from the right angle, that line's pretty good. That gap's seems a little big, but it's not the end of the world. So now for the next piece, I think I'll get on with this. I don't think I've done this many arts and crafts since I was a kid. Been got all that cleaned up. Went all over that with a sanding disc just to rough it up a little bit. Probably going to put some of that epoxy primer all over all of it. So those welded in, battery box welded up, cleaned up all in there. I'll show you this bit in the back now as well for the expansion tank. So that thing was fairly rotten out of it all the way around, but you need that little holder for the fuel expansion tank, so I just cut the shape of the outside of the thing in it and then put a few little cuts and bent them back. It seems to fit in there quite nicely when I put it in. Just again cleaned up all the back of that a little bit, and yeah, give that all a coat of paint there in a minute. I like putting the epoxy primer on it because it protects it all. It's a really good adhesive primer, and I don't worry about spraying it on or anything, paint it on. I can sand it all out nice and smooth again before doing a final before it gets sprayed at the end. Next then, I'm trying to figure out what's the most I can do with the least amount of supplies. I've got about 6 kgs of MIG wire left, but I only have about half a sheet of steel. I I could do the top panel there. I forgot I needed steel for that. The bottom of this, still, if I have to order more steel from the UK, maybe I'll just order the outer sill with that incorporated. That, or if I can't figure out any more stuff to do on this side for now, I'll go to the other side and start putting in the sliding door track, because that's one of the bigger jobs left to do. The suspension hanger on the other side still hasn't been on either, but the reason I left it is the hanger is a bit bad, but what's attached to is a lot better on the other side. So I need to take a better look at that. I also didn't finish off doing the rear pockets, or what I call the battery boxes in the back. Okay, no, they're not battery boxes. But I don't want to put the quarter or anything on yet. It's just not necessary. And the front step and footwell on the other side. I'm just not particularly keen on working on the other side of the van. The lights on this side, and can't turn it around because I've taken the side of the shed down again. Oh, this loveliness. So I just plasmed the bulk of this out of it, so just have a quick look. More rubbish inside there. The outrigger is a lot better than the one on the other side. It is rusty, but I think it's just surface rust on there. And just the outside of that hanger is bad. Might just try and change the hanger out. I'll have a look at it. I'll cut away the rest of that sill with the angle grinder after. Now, I might actually wrap this video up at that. Might put it up a little bit early. Everyone needs more to watch, and I have plenty of time to get on with this. So please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, all that stuff, and I will see you next time. Thanks for watching. Cheers.